Hi, Dr. Bennett. So for my disability, I had hearing loss in my left ear, and then I had a boot on as well in my left leg, and I was weight bearing as tolerated on crutches. Overall, it wasn't a horrible experience. I don't know if it was because I was at home versus at school, so I didn't have to crutch as far to everything, or if it was because I've had a previous experience on crutches, so I kind of knew what to expect. But this time I had a boot on, which was completely different. When I was on crutches the first time, I didn't. So I wasn't expecting with the boot itself the complete weight balance, and my center of balance was completely off just because of the boot was like this much thicker. So it was already higher up, and just trying to balance while on the crutches and like standing still was different. And then in public, I feel like when I did my community stuff, everyone was a little more accepting of when I was with the boot on. I got a lot of stares, which was really weird. I couldn't tell if it was because the orange earplug sticking out of my ear or if it was because I was in a boot. I talk about this in my reflection. People came up to me when I went to shopping in the loft. Within the first 30 seconds, one of the workers came up to me and was like, "Oh, I've been on crutches before. I've been on them multiple times." Like, just didn't even ask why I was on crutches, and it's just said his story. I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks for sharing." And then I could just feel eyes on me the entire time in the store, which I didn't really care about, but it was just a weird experience. And that's something we can definitely talk with our clients about, how people will stare at them or immediately just share their experience without really even asking A, if they can, or B, why they're on crutches. When my mom was on crutches 2 summers ago, that's all she would say was like, "Oh, 5 people came up to me today and told me their story," which is great because you can make friends, but at the same time it's weird, kind of. Let's see what else. Cooking was definitely weird for me just because I'm so used to being mobile and used to being like, "Oh, I need this," and quickly just running over the fridge and grabbing an extra egg rather than having to sit and be like, "All right, I need X, Y, and Z from the fridge, this from the cupboard, this from the spice cabinet." So it was harder in that sense, but I did use the pressure cooker, so I was able just to throw everything in, which kind of is an easy way around it. But definitely prepping everything and cutting the carrots was kind of scary because I had to balance on a stool. It's like, let's not cut any fingers today. Sorry, I'm doing this outside, so you can probably hear birds, which is peaceful. Let's see. For my room less traveled, or the area, I did my basement because we have a workout area that I don't really use too much. So I did that, but it was different because I'm used to being able to stand and do stuff. But this time I had to sit on the bench or kneel because I didn't really feel safe balancing on crutches while trying to work out. And I wasn't able to run, which stunk, or do yoga. There probably can be a way we could get our clients to do yoga if they really want to, like chair yoga, but I didn't do that. Let's see. I think my biggest challenge during all of it, which is so minute, but showering was hard for me because, my neighbor shot a skunk this morning and it's wafting over here. So it smells really bad. I lost my train of thought. Oh, showering. Because I have a tub shower, so I can't it's not a walk-in, which is the other type of shower, really. So it was hard, and we don't have a bench. So I was a little nervous about how I was going to shower. At first I tried standing on one leg, and that just did not feel safe for me because we don't have a slip mat in the shower. And so what I ended up doing was just sitting down, letting the water hit me while I was sitting on the tub and on the floor, and just showering that way. So it was definitely a different experience. It was definitely something with a client. We could get them a shower chair or a bench, depending on if they're younger or older. And with the earplug especially, it was just weird showering because this is silly, but the water hitting me felt really weird. Like when it hit my head, and like I could feel it weird or like differently and more, which was definitely strange, but definitely a new experience. I think with our clients, we really should talk about showering and just grooming as a whole for their ADLs, because thankfully for me, my bed was shorter, so I was able to sit on my bed and scoot around to get to my dresser to get changed. So that was safer for me, which was good. So for PEOP, definitely my occupations were impacted because I just had zero motivation to do anything because everything was so much more harder to get up, and I had to plan everything out, be like, all right, I want to go here, here, then here, while crutching around. And for listening to music, which I like to do, I couldn't wear my earbuds. Well, I could wear my right one, but it just felt weird, and my Beats weren't an option just because of the thing sticking in my ear. So that I had to listen to it out of phone, which was fine. But that's something that you don't think about. And then performance was definitely impacted because crutching around takes that much more energy out of you, and your performance will lack because of that. Environment, I didn't interact with my environment as much just because with everything that's going on right now, I couldn't go as to many places, and then I didn't really want to either because of the crutches. And then person, I just felt not myself because I talked a little bit about this in the paper. When I was on crutches the first time, I definitely had psychosocial changes. It was definitely a lot more, not depressed, but kind of depressed just because I couldn't do things that I wanted to. And it was a very important time for me in high school because it was junior year, and I missed out on stuff with my team. Cross country was stunk, and it's all of that just hit. And then so on those crutches for just those 48 hours, I definitely felt it. And so definitely we should talk with our clients about that and just how everything's gonna change. Sensory integration, the biggest thing was hearing because it cut off an ear pretty much. And going in the store, you can't really hear the person next to you. And so if my friend was talking to me, I had to turn to her and make sure like I could hear her with my right ear. And apparently I was shouting, sorry, parents, the whole time. I couldn't really hear myself, so I thought I was talking at a normal level. My mom was like, Sophia, stop shouting. Whoops, sorry. So that's definitely something else. We always just talk about having one disability at a time. That's how we learn everything. We don't really ever talk about having multiple things at one time, which I really think is important, and that's why I like this activity. And I would say the biggest contrast between the two of my models was just how sensory integration really kind of encompasses everything, kind of, because you use your senses for everything and you don't realize how much sensory plays a role until you lose part of your sense. Hey, one more thing that I wanted to say about the PEOP model and sensory integration. I found with my performance, I was using my different senses more than I normally do. So, for example, going back to community outings and shopping, I found I was using my sight more than anything to help my performance. This is kind of comparing the two, and just not feeling everything more because didn't want to get germs, but just being fully aware of everything. I felt that more, which really is a big part of sensory integration. Overall, I thought it was a good project. I liked this. It was definitely different completing the activity here versus at school. I definitely think it would have been different just because I didn't have to go to a class. And I was really looking forward to going to my psychology class because they don't really know what I'm doing. So that would have been different. But I did enjoy it. My parents laughed at me quite a bit. My brother got home the day after I finished and they were like, "Oh, you missed it." But yeah, thanks.